For a while, I didn't like the idea, and I maintain that I do not like the idea, of coming at these videos with too much intentionality, because you always tell, or maybe not always, but most of the time, understand when someone's not being genuine. And it's really weird, because I would come at this with, say, wanting to make a review for something like the Quest Pro, or to tell a story about, I was at a football game recently, and an American football game, and then I purchased myself 3 beers, which was a treat, and then a bucket of popcorn. And I just went by myself, and normally I wouldn't treat myself to those things, but I treated myself to those things, but then it felt kind of like they were the two parts of me. Like, you can tell stories, and I love that, and you will get that story when the time comes. The time is not yet. But let's say that story would be building up to a point. And there is a point to that story. Namely, it's what I got emotionally from it, which is you cannot be... Because I've tried to be... Hang on. I don't particularly like being lonely or feeling alone, but you can't always guarantee when you're going to find someone you're compatible with or whatever. So how can you be friend to yourself? Or if you really want a boyfriend, how can you be a boyfriend to yourself? What does that look like? You can kind of pull it off a little bit, but the issue is you cannot both give something to yourself and receive something from yourself at the same time. So it was with absolute full intentionality that I went and purchased those beers, because I was going to go take them back and have a really nice time with those beers, as though I was going to go buy some beers for my boyfriend or something. So I lived in that moment completely, all of the way, an absolutely present-minded moment, feeling like I was getting that's all I was doing, getting beers. Not what it's for. And usually I maintain the mentality, I'm getting beers so I can go drink by myself in an American football stadium, because I don't have anyone to buy beers for me to drink with me in the football stadium. So I would go and get sad beers, because I want beers, I have to get my own beers, and that would be sad. So what I did was take out what happened. I don't know if I did it so much. It just kind of is what occurred. I took out the future from it 100%, and just all I'm doing is getting these beers. No, nothing else that happens outside. There is no additions, no, oh, I'm buying these, and then I'll be the only one who has to drink them, because I don't have anyone to buy or share them with. And it's nope, just fuck off with everything about anything else other than I am going to buy these beers. And then I had a lovely interaction with the person at the counter, and I totally played it off, because I tried getting 2 just regular draft beers, or domestic beers, and then I was like, no, actually, no, it's a football game, and I'm treating myself so far. I'm already $8 deep, so we'll just go more. And then I got one of the taller, bigger cans of High Point craft beer, and I totally played it off. Oh shoot, I almost forgot. I have to get the other one. And I even said, gotta make the boss hat. Or no, I'm just following orders. That's what I said. And just totally played it off. That was a nice, cool, just human moment between me and the person at the beer booth. Played it off as though I was someone who, it's me and this is for my partner. And then I almost got the wrong beer. It was just a really cute moment. But I didn't have a partner, but I kind of was attempting to simulate my own partner, and kind of achieved that, because living in an absolute perfect, presently minded beer moment. Then I go back to the stadium just holding my, double fisting beers. I felt like a champion. And then on the way there, I was like, you know what? No, we're going to get popcorn, because get out of here. I'm in this deep, and I want to make going to an American football game by myself fun, not, well, I had to do it by myself, because I didn't have anyone else to go with. It's well, so we're going to do what we can to make this an enjoyable experience. And then, after I got my popcorn and then both of my beers, I got back to my spot at the stadium and just watched the game. I exited the absolute present-minded focus of I'm buying beers and popcorn to take back to at the stadium. And part of the impetus for that would be, if I had someone to share the moment with, I would be buying beers and popcorn to share a really cute moment with someone who I care about. I didn't have someone I cared about, sort of, we'll get to it, but that was kind of what was going on in my head a little bit, right? And then once I sit down at the stadium, again, fuck off with anything about, oh, I wish I had someone to drink these with, or someone to, watch the cheer with, or whatever. You do want that. That would be lovely. But at that point, I'm sitting in a football stadium standing, and I've got 2 beers, big old thing of popcorn, and some American football, and the crowd is loud. And it's just fun watching a game. And I lived in that moment 100%. And there is no, like, oh, I wished I had someone to share these with or whatever. Because living in a perfect moment, just that exact what happened, never mind that I had to buy my own beers or that they were, I didn't have anyone to share them with. But what's happening is I'm in a stadium full of people, and I love people. There's so much people watching to do in a stadium full of people. It was a fantastic moment. So I'm in the middle of tons of people, which I love. I enjoy sports within reason. So it was my first football game I've been at for a while in this new stadium, and it was buying into a local team finally. And I'm only recently getting more used to living where I'm living instead of treating it as I'm here temporarily until I move on to the next part of life. It's like, well, no, I'm here now, so I'm going to go to the football game that's here now. Like, I might as well do that. So I'm in a stadium full of people, which I like, watching football, which I like, holding 2 beers, which I love, and then eating popcorn, which, are you kidding me? That's the peak of human existence. That is nirvana a little bit, all of that together. That's just a happy boy. Fuck off with anything else. When you take an individual perfect slice, just that literal, that moment, that's a good moment. That is a very good moment to be alive. 2 beers, football, people, popcorn. That's all you need. If that's all that your life ever was, that's a happy life. Not even joking. Maybe a little bit, like maybe a little bit joking, but for the most part, actually honest to God, that's just a good time. So, hey, what happened? Oops. Oops. Ha. So what happened accidentally is I told that story as demonstration that if I came in intending to tell that story, it would sound not genuine if the plot was... Like if I had come into that story wanting to teach people the Phineas Former method for being your own boyfriend, going to events on your own, and finding joy, I could tell that story to that effect, to try and illustrate the point of, here's something that I've done, let me teach people how to do that. And that's just really disingenuous to me. I don't love that to me. It's just, because I know that already. And part of the issue, I think, is that nobody asked for it. And so if I go through the trouble of planning something out that I want to teach people, like, oh, wow, how do you behave at a football stadium on your own? It's like, what? That's so dumb. Who do I think I am? And what am I trying to teach? It's like, no. Another way to phrase all that is, let me teach the good people, which is horrible language. I'm not never learn anything from me. I will lead you astray. But it just doesn't feel genuine, I guess, in some way. I don't quite know exactly why, but whenever I come in with an intention, here's the story I want to tell, here's the point I want to make, it never works. Because I'm trying too hard to reach an end point, and that's not how I operate, not in anything that I do. I operate more in like, we'll do this and then that, and then we'll tell a little bits of the story. And then that's kind of fun because I was able to talk about how much I like football games and people and popcorn and beer. Lots of, that's great. So I was able to gush about something that I really enjoy, illustrate a point about how I was able to operate the mental gymnastic of being both my significant other who can buy beer for myself as well as someone who can receive beer from their significant other. You can't do those at the same time, but if you can rapid switch closely enough and live with absolute integrity in either sector, you can pull off, like you can really enjoy going to a football game on your own, and usually if I try and do both things at the same time, it doesn't work. And if I only do one of them, like, it doesn't work, at least not for me. So I was able to illustrate something that I was able to pull off, a new mental gymnastic, which I was really excited about, and gush about something that I really liked. Oh yeah. And all of this is actually wrapped inside of a different thought entirely, which is how my thoughts tend to be structured generally. I'm not a linear kind of boy, and if I wanted to actively tell the story about the mental gymnastic behind being both your lover and the one who is loved, I don't know how to tell that. I don't know how to be that specific. Here's the objective. How do I reach that objective? That sounds like a linear train of thought, and I'm not a linear kind of boy. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it, and I've been trying to do it. Stops me every time. Can't handle it. It's a killer. It's no good. It is no good.